The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
You are listening to the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 beer with a sports talk and a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Sports Network. Listen in as Brent and Dave invite you to belly up to the bar with them to talk about everything in the world of sports, just like you would do at your favorite watering hole. It's sports, beer, and shenanigans. So belly up to the bar with us, grab a beverage, and let's get into it.
The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 beer with sports talk and a whole lot more, episode number 365 on this 15th day of January 2024. Tonight's show, as always, is brought to you by SeatGeek.com and the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase over there at SeatGeek. Remember, we are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Go to bellyupsports.com for all the great articles and other podcasts such as the Sports Soul podcast and Rising to the Occasion. Make sure you guys go to bellyupsports.com. Check all that out. Thank you to everybody who watches and listens to our show. Got a lot of hits over on YouTube over the weekend, so we appreciate all that support we get up on YouTube to see our smiling faces at BS, and like we always do Mondays and Thursday nights here at 1420 World Headquarters. Dave, the storm that conquered this part of the world got over to Buffalo over the weekend. They had to postpone that game to play today. We'll get into the game itself that got postponed from yesterday to today because of the weather conditions. My only problem with how they postponed it was on Saturday. I think they called it good. They say, yeah, we shouldn't do this. Was it a fucking surprise that there was going to be bad weather to wait that long to postpone that game? Because all signs were going, you know what? It's going to be bad, and it's going to be bad. From all
the times I've seen when these, I believe they're called lakefronts, move into Buffalo, it could be only like honestly a kilometer difference from 5 feet of snow to 5 inches of snow. And so maybe that's why they held off. And obviously a lot of people are going to be traveling, flights and what have you. And then also too, it's not so much like it's snow and it's cold, so we can play the game. We'll get the snow removal. But the postponing of the game is more actually for fans trying to get to and from the game.
Fans safety, 100%. No, it is.
Yeah, they don't want morons like, now their 20-minute drive now just turned to 2.5 hours, and they got a fucking 36-pack of and fireballs as they're waiting in line to get into the unshoveled parking lot. So I can understand that because
that's the other thing I wanted to bring up. Like if you I saw Bills fans were offered $20 an hour to go and shovel the stands for $20 an hour, $20 an hour, and there was a good portion of people who went and did it. Probably the Bills fans or just want to get the game going or make sure it would happen. I don't know if I'm doing that. Like we talked about it on our last show on Thursday.
Not at this age. No,
like shoveling the sidewalks enough for me. And it's like heavy, wet snow out there in Buffalo, on and on and on. It's got to like these corporate, like these NFL teams are corporations, man. And they're giving guys $20 an hour. No way, man. You're giving me tickets because if we don't do it, you're not getting people in the stands, right? And on it goes. I'm getting season tickets. I'm getting this. I'm sweetening that pot. If I'm, people did it, so it got done. But man, I wouldn't do it for anything less than a 4 tickets, beers, on it goes. Like not season ticket, but 4 tickets to a game, to that playoff game. Like I'm having a pretty hefty bargaining ploy. If you want me to shovel snow at Raymond James, I can't remember what it's called.
Highmark Stadium.
Highmark Stadium. If you want me to shovel snow at Highmark, I'm getting tickets to that playoff game. I'm getting a punch pass for 20 beers, and on it goes. Like there's no way I'm doing for $20 an hour. Not a chance.
Well, I saw the Twitter machine this afternoon, about an hour before game time, where they said, "Fuck it, like we're not going to get it done." And then it was, I don't know the source, but it said right on there, it's like, a bunch of seats is now just rush seating. You get there, you stay there because and then they showed some Pittsburgh fans, like they were in the stadium in the seats, but walking through cock deep snow, just trudging to find a place to sit, and they were going to be sitting on snow. Like it was, like they couldn't. There was just too much snow to remove.
That's one of those. That's one of those games that Brent stays home. I'm not going to that. Not a fucking chance. No.
There would. Yeah, it would be like, it'd be a special set of circumstances where I go to that game because we mentioned I know how to dress for the code and I can have fun, but it's not so much sitting there during the game; it's getting my ass to the game and getting back. So like you're literally talking a 10-hour commitment here to try and figure it out, how you're going to get to wherever you're going and what road is plowed and all that kind of thing. I'm a little, and then it's also a school night too. So
yeah, I got TVs down here in the tavern. I'm good. There's no way I'm going to that game. Not a like if I was the biggest Buffalo Bills fan, no, I'm not going. Not even if I had a suite. Like you said, the traveling to and from the game, there's just, I'm good. Like, I don't like going out now. Like, I think we talked about it off air a little bit here, but I was leaving work today, leaving the old, the baseball field there and driving down 6th Avenue. And there was a guy, it was minus 15 degrees still, which is still really, really cold, right? But it's a big difference from minus 40, which it was on Saturday night. And the guy had his window down and he was playing some songs. I couldn't hear what it was because my windows were up, obviously.
Probably CCR.
He wasn't an older fella. Like
okay.
Like he was younger than us. Like he'd be closer to playing maybe, I don't even know. Like
Pitbull.
Maybe some Pitbull. Yeah. He's more of a Pitbull guy than a CCR guy. And because it was a 25-degree temperature difference and it was still minus 15. And this guy had his window down, banging on the top of his roof. And he was like having a little concert in his car, like oomping it. I was like, holy fuck, man. It's still minus 15, but it was a 25-degree temperature difference. It's crazy.
It is crazy. And then when like the temperature gauge, right? There's certain places where like it just becomes a new level of cold. And
minus 35, it's a whole nother level.
Well, yeah, like minus 15 to minus 21, 22. Yeah. But when it hits minus 25, that's a new level of cold. And then once it hits minus 35, that's another level of cold. And then now we're talking Luke Skywalker on his Tauntaun going through the planet Hoth. Like, fuck, you just want to, sometimes I want to cut my dog's belly up just to put my fucking hands in there on a walk. Jesus.
Saturday was awful. Anyways, Dave, the NFL super wild card weekend is still going on as we sit here talking. The Buccaneers are up 16-9 on the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to be losing this game because that's what their season's kind of rolled out. But I don't know if the biggest surprise of the weekend is the right way to say it, but the biggest, or I can't even say an upset because I think you called it and everybody, and I actually, one of the guys over at Brown's at the local watering hole, he asked me what the upset of the weekend was going to be. And I said, if anybody's going to puke all over themselves, it's going to be the Dallas Cowboys. And lo and behold, Jerry World was upset, and I don't think anyone's surprised that the 12 win Dallas Cowboys are booking their trips home, and that's it. Another season gone for shit without a playoff win. It's unbelievable that this happens or is it completely believable that this happens year after years with the one stars?
I think it's 100% believable because, like you said, I didn't call it, but I thought there was a good chance it might happen. Green Bay was on fire and hungry, and Jordan Love's been playing great. And Dallas just likes people talking about Dallas. And I think that's the entire team, specifically their owner. And for a couple of weeks there, I'm glad for you. You got off that bandwagon because you were waving that flag.
I was waving the one-star flag for a couple of weeks there. And then about a week and a half after I proclaimed them to be the next Super Bowl champions. They got the 14-20 kiss of death, and that was it for those fuckers. It's one of those things, that we tend to do. And for all the listeners out there, if you ever want a team to lose, Just tell us, and we'll make it happen.
Well, even one of my good friends who I curl with, he's a Green Bay fan. I texted him before the game, good luck. I think you guys got a chance. And he goes, I'm not holding my breath. And then we just had a back and forth. And then I didn't text him at all the entire game. And then when the final horn sounded,
that's a veteran move. I like that.
Yeah. I go, I didn't want to jinx it for you, buddy. And he goes, I appreciate that. Wasn't answering the phone anyways. And so it was and it just gives me such joy to see those fucks to lose in the playoffs, especially at home, especially with expectations so high. Just get over your fucking selves. Like, you're not that good. Everybody wants to tell you how good they are. You are. And I said this, but it always falls on deaf ears. I think the NFC East is really quite overrated. And Dallas is proving that. Well, proved that yesterday, and Philly is proving that now. You got to play quality teams outside your division, and all of a sudden life ain't so easy anymore.
I was laughing as I was watching that game. Like, I'm not by any means a Dallas Cowboys fan, by any means a Green Bay Packer fan, but I was laughing at that game. And it always comes back to our good friend who's always fucking clickbait, Aaron Rodgers. What's he thinking right now? Okay. Like, when's the last time he did anything of any substance, won a playoff game, and you're paying this Jordan Love character whatever they're paying him, and
he's on his rookie deal, so not much.
So there you go. So like, maybe the Packers are onto something here. Like, well, we'll let you fuck off, and we'll keep this guy, and then all of a sudden we won a playoff game with the youngest team, the youngest team in NFL history to win a playoff game. I mean, that's all hyperbole, and who cares? But it must mean something when you got this kid who's been playing really well, and then you got fucking shithead. Yes, he got injured and everything else, but it's a good look on the Packers right now. A really good look on the Packers right now.
Oh, for sure. They're winning all over the place, and they would have got draft picks. I don't know what that trade actually encompassed that they sent Rodgers over to the Jets, but they're looking really good. And whoever scouts their talent, it kind of makes you wonder, like, why couldn't they have a defense this good when Rodgers were there? But then also Rodgers shits the bed. Like, he lost in the playoffs and not playing well 2-3 years before he wanted out of town. Puts together MVP seasons in the regular season and pukes all over himself come playoff time, which is exactly what Dak Prescott did, right? He throws it like he's fucking chopping a tree. I've never really liked his style. I always thought he was overrated, and he really showed his what I think to be his true colors last night. And everybody can throw an interception, but you throw that interception, and then Green Bay punches it in, and then the very next possession you throw a pick six. That's crushing. That is crushing to go down 3 scores that early in a game. And the crowd is silent, and it's like everybody is like, fuck.
Yeah.
When you have 80,000 people say, here we go again, that negative energy is coming to the sidelines.
Yeah, when someone tells you who they are, believe them. It's one of your lines you use a lot here in the 1420 podcast. It's one of those things, and that's the thing that there's never going to be until. And I'm not wishing death on anybody, obviously, because that would be rude of me, obviously. But when you have an owner who people know and who's part of the media and everything, not part of the media, but he's in people's eyes all the time, and
he wants to be part of the story.
He's part of he's more part of the Cowboys vernacular than most of the players are. And when you have a guy like that, you're never going to change what's going on, because over the last 20 years, whatever it's been since Tony Romo was a long time ago, and that playoff loss when they fumbled that extra point and on, or a field goal, where it was not back in 2005, I think it was. It's still, so you have a whole new cast of characters playing the game, but there's one constant, and you have a whole bunch of new coaches rolling through. There's one constant for all their failures, and that is the owner, Jerry Jones.
And if I didn't have such disdain for him, like, when they were cutting to him in the box, that was awesome. That was awesome. I was just happy he wasn't my granddad, because just his disgust, his disbelief, Like, how does that work if you're Jerry Jones? Because obviously you got some pretty big dick swingers in the box there with you.
Yeah.
And it's not like it is invite only, but you want to go there to celebrate with Jerry because, he's going to be buying strippers and Coke for everybody after that game. And then, Jesus, stripper and Coke is off. Like, so do you just like do the Irish goodbye and walk out and call the car, like, just Sally, call the car, like we're leaving in the third quarter.
And that, like, if you're Jake Winters, that's my go-to name with people that are kind of semi-famous, whatever. If you're Jake Winters and you're expecting a big celebration and things are, I go to the owner's box and everything else, and like it's like, oh fuck, this party's not going to be very fun.
Get that bottle of whiskey in the backpack, and we're heading.
This is kind of going to suck. Let's yeah. Oh fuck. And what is the appropriate exit? Like, do you leave like a fan would at fucking the end of the third quarter, or the game was over?
Oh no, yeah. There's an elevator right there for you.
Like,
hey, Jesus.
What's the proper way to do it? Do you tell Jerry? Say, Jerry, I'm going to beat the traffic. No, because you don't want to be rude, right?
No, I'm all about rude. I'm getting the fuck out of there.
Like, well, Dave, like, yeah, of course, like me and you, but like if somebody extends you an olive branch to be in the owner's box at an NFL football game, that's a pretty fucking good olive branch to get. Like, at what point do you say, this is getting awkward, I gotta get out of here? Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, this is bad. This is bad.
Well, what you do then is
like I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you do?
After the first quarter, that's when you order your steak, right? And so it's there by halftime, and then you can finish it off, and then you got a nice full belly, have a whiskey, and then at halftime, Jared, this game ain't over, and we still got a lot of time, and then like midway third quarter, it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna go take a piss and ghost. Oh, unless you're an employee. Yeah, I ghosted.
Oh, do you ghost it like that?
Well, oh, for sure. If I'm just a hanger on, like if there's no chance of me, like if I was a fan that won this experience kind of thing, what if you're a quasi friend though? Oh, then you got to stand there and suck it. You just do, because he's your buddy, and he goes, I just want to be left alone. Gone. Just wait for that.
The second I leave. The second he says, I don't want to talk about it. Okay, good. All right. I'm out.
Love you, Jerry.
Like,
I love you, buddy.
Like, if you won the fan experience, obviously you can just fucking leave. You'll never see that guy again. But if you're a friend, that's a tough fucking exit, man. Or do you do the opposite and just get completely fucking gunned and get so hammered that you have to leave?
That might be something too, right? Let's drink this one away. But Jerry can't get fucking sauce because he has to get in front of the mic. You get so hammered that Jerry or his minions ask you to leave because they're always panning up the CBS or what was panning up the booth like every fucking 20 seconds. They get so belligerently drunk that CBS goes, can you get rid of that guy in the gray shirt and the gray hat? Because he's a fucking mess. But on the same note, you still want your invite because those 8 home games are a treat as well.
Oh,
right? So you don't want to fuck that up for next year.
Yeah, don't get hammered, but you can't. Ghosting's you know what? That's one of those situations as you get older. Like, as you get older, if you ghost somebody or you just disappear, I don't think the host would get upset with you. Like, to be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go. Like, yeah. Let's just say if you came over to 1420 World Headquarters here, and me and Deanne got in a little bit of a tiff, a little tiff. We never fight. We disagree, but we don't fight. Let's say that me and her got in a tiff. If you were to just walk out the front door and leave, I would understand. I get it. If you didn't say fuck all, I would get it. Is that the same kind of situation?
Yeah, I think so. When it's getting uncomfortable, and the situation is beyond my control. There's nothing I can say or do that's going to change anything that's going on.
Yeah, because telling a person to calm down always works really well.
Yeah. Well, there's always next year. Like, fuck, and Jerry Jones, I'm 85 years old. Like, yeah. Christ, I don't know how old he is, but he looks every minute of it now, because that team's going to drive him to an early grave.
He aged a lot yesterday, but
God, they showed him more than Taylor Swift.
That was crazy. I you don't know what you're going to do with that football team, and like how it's such a disaster year in year out. And yeah, it's easy to point a finger. There's a lot of coaches that came up and availability and Belichick and fucking people are talking Saban. Saban's retired. He's not going there. You would have to be, yes, you want a coaching in that league. It's the pinnacle, obviously, to pinnacle. But I don't think they haven't fired McCarthy yet. I think it's inevitable that they will. But 12 wins is 12 wins. I mean, it's not that bad. But you still got to show shit in the playoffs. You'd have to be desperate or not have a great resume, I guess, to take that Dallas job, because you're under the watchful eye of Jerry and his minions are there, Jerry World. I think you'd have to be a complete moron to take that fucking job.
Yeah, it would be a tough job to have, but if you ever get it delivered, then you're going to walk on water for a long time. And just to touch upon that, I put 95% of the blame on Mike McCarthy. He's not a great coach. That team he won with in Green Bay, that was, once again, thank you, Aaron Rodgers, for being really fucking wicked at the quarterback position. But winning in the playoffs isn't about running that same bag of tricks out every time. You got the other team they studied you. They know all your quirks, they know everything. And in that first half, that's exactly what it looked like. Dallas had no answer on the offensive or defensive side. Green Bay was a better coach team that knew all the Dallas tendencies on offense and defense, and they fucking rode them like a wet pony. I was embarrassed for Dallas how bad they were playing. It was like Green Bay had a copy of their fucking playbook. And that's on the coach, man. You got to switch shit up. And I don't think McCarthy's has switched his shit up. I really don't. Because, well, he hasn't shown me that he can do it, because he can't win in the playoffs, right? They won one game last year against a lower seed. And then they came up to San Fran, and San Fran said, "Thank you for the lunch money. Now go home."
Only team in I can't remember what I heard it on Adam Shine this morning on Sirius there, and only the 12-win team 3 years in a row, 3 or 4 years in a row to not get to a conference championship game, right?
Yeah,
like it's
that's on the coach.
Well,
it's on the coach.
It's on the coach, but more so, I think it's on ownership, right? And you know what? It's also the same quarterback.
Right.
There's a few constants there, really, when it comes down to it, and the one constant's not changing, right? And that.
Oh, safety! Sorry.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I'm about 3 seconds ahead of you, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's you wonder, like, Cowboy fan, he or she must be I guess they must be a little beside themselves, because eventually you gotta kind of like go, fuck me, enough. Like I'm good. It's been like being Emmett Smith and Michael Irvin and Troy Aikman. That's a long fucking time ago. Like that's even fucking a longer time ago than Jeter, Mariano, and Pettit. Right.
Well, it put it in perspective a little bit when we had Aaron on Thursday. Like the last time Dallas won the Super Bowl, that was the year he was born. Like, and obviously that makes me feel old, but that's what, 28 years ago. 28 years. That's a long time ago.
And to be quote unquote America's team, well, fuck, they better do some voting somewhere else, because that's not fucking very good. It's the kind of, like, obviously they always will be, but it's
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Do you love him just because of the hype that they get from the media? Because I don't know. I don't know a ton of Cowboy fans. I know enough, but they're pretty quiet the last.
But they're everywhere. Like they're in the woodwork. Don't get me wrong. Like
there's nobody the age of 20 and under who's a Cowboys fan. Nobody outside of
that's for sure. Not in our neck of the woods. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's a fucking Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, but yeah, my age and older.
Fan.
Yeah, there's Cowboy fans laying around. But they're not the boisterous kind.
Really good game last night with the Detroit Lions getting their first playoff win in 32 years. 32 years. I really, really, really enjoyed that. Like, it was a great football game, but seeing the fans, the emotion of the fans was actually pretty cool. Friend of the show that I've been on his show, he's been on ours. Luke Gamlin, Belly Up Sports guy, Captain Luke Extravaganza. He was at the game last night, and he said it was unbelievable. That we were meshing back and forth a little bit, and he said it was unbelievable, the atmosphere, all of it. He said it was so great, and I think that is one thing, like, forever, like, no matter what happens from here on in, that's like, for some fans, and it's kind of a sad state of the organization if you come down to it. But for some fans, a certain age bracket, age group, demographic, whatever you want to call it, that was their Super Bowl. And it says something about the organization, obviously. But Jared Goff, if he wins one more playoff game somehow, that guy's fucking going to the Detroit Lions Hall of Fame. Really?
Well, yeah, you're right. It's
like, as shitty as that sounds, I'm probably not wrong.
It's not like there's a velvet rope outside that shrine either, but you are right. If he went in, even though I don't think he played overly well, he played good. In the second half, he wasn't very effective. I thought I didn't care, and I thought I was rooting for the Rams on that one. But as that game went on, I thought the Rams were going to win it. They did have the chance, and kudos to the Detroit defense, because they really bucked up and held the Rams to field goals where they should have been scoring touchdowns. So I got to totally tip my hat to what Detroit did on defense, because I thought that was their weak spot. They nutted up and stopped them when they had to. So it was a huge team effort. I switched allegiances because, like I said, I didn't care. I didn't think I care. I thought I wanted LA to win. But in the second half, it was like, come on, Detroit, just fucking finish this game. Don't fuck it up.
Hold on.
You know what I mean?
Wilson Phillips, that shit.
And they did. Yeah.
No,
and so it was good. And then I saw on the Twitter machine, I don't know if you saw it, the Dan Campbell locker room speech afterwards. It was touching.
I didn't turn the sound on. But yeah, no, give it a watch and listen to what he has to say. It was great. He had game ball, and he gave one game ball to one of the coaches. I don't know if that's the offensive or defensive coordinator. Him and I got here on day one, and we did some hard stuff, and then they had a hug and what have you. And then he gave his second game ball, and he goes, "This second game ball, Goff, you're good enough for Detroit." And he threw him the ball, and it was good. And then the team loved it, and it tugged at the heart a bit. And it was sport. I get it. These are professional athletes making millions and millions of dollars, but no, that's a good point. That's a good point, because you know what? We take it for granted, but at the end of the day, these guys, sometimes, not all the time, but a lot of, like, there's times where, like, these guys are playing, and they're playing a game they love, and they're playing a game that they're invested in emotionally, not financially. They go out there and they try hard, and when the fans get behind them and everything else, they kind of remember where they came from. And that was one of those moments yesterday with the fans were behind it. Goff was getting the crowd going with the two kneel downs to end the game and everything else. Like, there's times, and I've always, like, when people don't watch sports, I get it to an extent, but then when they say, "Wow, just a bunch of guys running around," no, there's a lot of emotion, and when it comes to whatever sport you're playing, especially when it comes into the playoff time, right? And when there's guys who break down and cry because it's a moment that happens, and then you share a moment with, like, you might not share a moment personally with a fan or with like a person like face to face. But there's
32 years. There's not a 30. I don't know if there's a 32-year-old player on that team.
There probably is.
Yeah.
Right. And so you have that emotional tie that somebody's going to be telling that story. They were at that game like Lou was last night. They were at that game where, and there's an emotional tie that player X will have with fan Q, no matter what, forever. And that's one of the great things about sports. It gets lost a lot with all of the money and all the bullshit and everything else. Yeah. All the noise, but games like that last night and the emotion that was coming out of that stadium last night, Ford Field, I think it's called still, that the emotion that comes out of games like that, those are the good things about sports. That you go, that was kind of cool. Because I will probably for the playoffs, no matter how long the Lions stick around, I will probably be a Lions guy from here on in, just because it was kind of neat to watch.
It was neat to watch, and and it's not like Dan Campbell was handed anything. He's single-handedly changing the culture there, right? They were asked, like, whatever. I don't know what the record was before him, but like his first year on the team was 3-13, and I did a bit of a deep dive on that today, and there was I don't know if it was Hard Knocks or something, but they had him at a practice, and he says, like, we're doing live tackling. Like, this is how we get better. This is how we get better. I know it sucks, but this is what we got to do. Some of you aren't going to be here when we get to the point we want to be. And I'm sorry about that. But this is the only way we get better. And we're going to do this together, and we're going to build something together. And this is what he was saying to the team in practice when they were 3-13. Go to last year. They didn't make the playoffs, but they had a huge emotional win by knocking Green Bay out of the playoffs, their last game of the year, right? That's a win for them, and that's something to build on. So I give this Dan Campbell a fucking shit ton of credit, because it's not like he was head coach. It's not like he's Belichick telling everybody what to do. He's leading from the front, being gruff and boisterous and getting in guys' faces. But when you get buy-in and you're making the right decisions as a coach, doing that kind of thing, it's fucking awesome, and the team loves him, and I could tell that by the post-game speech he gave in the locker room last night.
I've always thought, Dave, like the postseason awards, like not postseason, but the awards when the season's over, like because they gave them away in the postseason. I've always thought that they should include a few of them for Coach of the Year and things like that, because you can have a great regular season and shit the bed in the playoffs and still win, still get Coach of the Year, because your team just doesn't show up or whatever might happen. Like there's a few other ones like Rookie of the Year. I've always thought there's a few of the, and it's all the sports that, maybe the postseason kind of, for those awards, kind of matters, because if you win yourself a Hart Trophy as the National Hockey League's MVP and lose out in the first round, who gives a fuck? Right. And where's this Campbell character from Detroit? Like right now, just with that speech and the things they've gone through, and then he won a playoff game, which is huge in the NFL. Like it's only one win, but it's huge, right? Like it's really big. Like this guy's got to be the odds-on favorite to win the Coach of the Year award. And then if they win another game, they're like, so I think how far, not every time, because Belichick he won Super Bowls because of Brady. So just because you win, but there's certain milestones I think you could hit in every sport that, like, this guy got to the next level. Because winning in the postseason it's fucking tough in any sport.
Well, you're right. And then let's go from that. That's a nice segue, how you like to say it, into that Houston-Cleveland game. That DeMeco Ryan is a first-year coach for Houston. And who was expecting shit from Houston this year? And they laid the fucking boots to the shit stains there on Saturday. That was ugly on both sides of the ball. Oh, Joey Flacco, back-to-back pick six. You're going to be – if he would have won that game, he would have broken a Brett Favre record and a Brady record. And
I told you. I said about a week ago.
Kiss of death, Brent's kiss of death.
Kiss of death. Once again, I said if Joe Flacco wins a playoff game, he's getting a 3-year deal and getting $120 million. And he didn't.
You owe him an apology.
Fuck, sorry, Joe. Sorry, Joe's wife. I apologize to Joe's wife. Because she had all that spent over at fucking Yisk, fucking wherever the fucking yeah. Sorry, Joe's wife. I apologize that your husband's not making $120 million over the next
back-to-back pick sixes is a tough look.
And that vaunted defense, and all of a sudden that was just done. That's not a game that was over before it started. It was just over.
Uh-huh.
And
that
they never
CJ
found
Stroud
a way.
Holy fuck, that kid's good.
He's really good. But I think that's once again, that's one of those ones I do agree with you. The coach, he seems young. Okay, the thing is about Houston that they're not a very good football team, like last year, right? But they got a young quarterback and they got a young team who wasn't very good. And that's one you throw in a young coach like that, it can't hurt, right? They're not the crusty old guy, do it my way, where he might be a little more progressive and everything else. And well, he just seemed like a really because I know he looks like a raw guy because there's a couple pass attempts that just went awry on Stroud. And he's like, oh, it's all right, we tried. It was very. He was more of a up with people kind of guy than Belichick growling all the time, right? Like it was fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't watch that whole game, but it was nice because I won't say cheering. Like I hoped and wanted Houston to win, so it was nice to see. And because I'll have a hate on for Flacco till the end of time, even though I kind of respect his game for what he did to my Broncos that one year with to get Baltimore that last Super Bowl win. It was a good game, and Houston was clearly the better team. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do against. I believe they're going to be up against Baltimore now. Yeah, for sure they will. So playing in Baltimore in the cold, I don't know how cold it gets over there. It's going to be interesting to see. But I really applaud them and that coach for just being awesome and stepping up like throughout the season. No one expected shit from them, and they did really well.
So we're now in 100% agreement right now from a statement I made last week about this time. The Miami Dolphins are completely irrelevant franchise in the National Football League. Irrelevant.
Frauds and fuck that team. Like,
all in one.
Yeah, the coach is overrated. Tua is overrated. Whatever, just overrated. Like they would have lost. Like you had it when you have a chance to sew up the division before you get to that last game of the year against the Bills at home, and then you still have that last final chance to get that seed to host a playoff game, and you puke all over your shoes there. You're definitely not going on the road. Kansas City, which has looked vulnerable this year and very beatable this year, you're not going to beat a team that knows how to win in the playoffs in their house. Like that's simple. Like they know how to protect the house. I don't care who Mahomes throws to. You're not beating.
Should they have postponed that game as well? Because the field was shitty and everything was shitty and it was shitty and shitty. Because I know like the elements are it's football and they fucking flex all the time. They don't wear sleeves when it's 50 fucking below, which is weird to me. But if you don't, because you don't draft a team by a guy's fucking experience, right? And you don't have because Miami's not, right? And so they have a different climate down there. Is it time? And I think I know your answer here, but is it time that the NFL maybe got to fucking like games where like, you know what, if the weather drops to this and the fucking seat, because they don't give a fuck who goes to the game because those tickets mean nothing for the big picture on finances. But if it gets to a certain point where the snow's falling, the wind's blowing, and blah, 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 go to a neutral site and play the game because you didn't get to see the best athleticism from a lot of teams this weekend. You didn't.
But you got to see football and competitive football. Well, you know my answer. I said absolutely not. Like unless
so then why did they postpone that game? And don't say it was because of the fans, because if they played that game in today with an empty stadium, it didn't matter. It doesn't matter to the finances.
I honestly believe it was because you couldn't get to and from the stadium, and now we're talking feet of snow, like feet of snow. They couldn't have kept the field clear. Is how much it snows. Like you and I don't understand how much snow. Like
I do, but they might do like so. At what point do you go? That was a little too much, but this one's not. Like we can piss all over fucking Miami all we want. It wasn't a level playing field, really.
Well, then win home field. Like I don't have a problem with it at all. At all. No, if you can. I think that would be it for the Buffalo thing. Like there was no guarantee they could get the field into playing shape. Because
there's enough money, you can always get the field in playing shape.
Not if it's
snowing. They used to play in fucking snow all the time.
Not used to.
But it's also different now that you also didn't have $30 million contracts, right? So
right, and we're talking like honestly feet of snow, like a foot of snow every 2 hours. You can't clear that snow. You have to clear the lines. You have to do that. Like you just simply, it's simply you can't keep it clean. And then what happens afterwards when you got 20,000 cars outside?
But I just said they don't give a fuck if there's one fan in that building. Yes, they'd rather. Their TV deals are enough. Their playoff deals are enough.
No, like I understand that, but
if there's a fan there, great. If there's not, they'll be fine. Jerry Jones or whoever the owners are, they'll be fine. They'll be okay. I think
they care enough that they don't want fans dying because, like how do you can't plow the parking lot? They would literally be there for fucking days. Like it's not just you and I out there with our brooms sweeping off our thing. Now you got 40,000 people shoveling 6 to 12 inches of snow off their thing. And you gotta drive. You gotta get out of there. Like it becomes logistically impossible. And you do want fans in there. You do want fans. And so that's my reason. That's why I think like at the end of the day,
like it'd be a bad TV
because no matter how bad it is, there could be there could be a fucking tsunami coming in, and you're still gonna have 10% of the fan base showing up because they're diehards. And all of a sudden now here they're underneath.
Well, I would use a different word than diehard, but whatever. It's one of those things. It's
what would you use?
Idiot.
Idiots.
You're an idiot.
You're an idiot. This
absolute idiot.
You understand there's a 10% chance you might die. 90% chance
I've been to every game since 19. Yeah.
How do you get my fireball?
Yeah.
Where's my fireball gun?
There was some jackwagon on fucking Saturday at that Chiefs game without a fucking without a tarp on. You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
Well, he got his wish. He got on TV. You know, when I saw those Jim Moke.
Actually, he got his wish. He's getting talked about on the 1420 podcast. That's a bigger thing.
I wish we could tag him. Let's put him on the Twitter.
I'll find something here. I can get on that. There's no getting around that. I'll find a way.
Pump his tires, get him on here, and just shit on him. Like you're an idiot. Like that's not true. He's a lot younger than us. I might have taken my shirt off. I never did. I wasn't a shirt taker offer back in my day.
I don't do it now. I didn't do it back then.
Back in the day, there was that fucking knucklehead, an old guy that wore the barrel at Denver Bronco games. You know who I'm talking about? Well, like, come on now. Really?
Yeah.
Like, is it that important to you? Like for those tickets, and there are always sweet seats.
Yeah.
But you got to wear this. You got to wear this barrel and no shirt for every game for 8 games a year. Really? Is it that fun?
There's a good percentage that guy has never touched a boob in his life.
Well, I don't know.
68% that guy has never touched a boob that wasn't his own in his life.
Every pot has a lid, right? And so maybe out there's some daughter of a whiskey cask constructor with daddy issues and
like eventually like me and Deanne talk with us all the time about like because I said it like man we're stupid, like we do a lot of stupid shit, like we're idiots, like when like right to our core, like and there's no getting away from that. We are stupid, we say stupid things, we do stupid things, and we never really grow up, but
fairly predictable.
And no matter how grown up and everything else, when guys, they just simple shit. But at the end of the day, we're still smarter women because we trick them into sleeping with us. That guy, the barrel, he's never touched a boob. He's like that percentage, like never.
What if he comes from a long line of barrel wearers? My pappy wore a barrel. I wear this barrel because my pappy wore this barrel. It saved his life in the Civil War. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's a thing. I don't know. I would never do it. What about that San Diego Chargers super fan?
Okay, here's the only way. Here's the only way he's ever touched a boob. Is that if his girlfriend, wife, whoever he's dating, could be another guy, I don't give a fuck, whatever. The only way he's ever touched a boob is if that person is a bigger fan than him and is using him for those seats.
You know, and that's not impossible.
People are slimy.
Yeah. You know, if that's how he identifies and that's how he was, maybe he just identifies himself as a super fan, and right, like super fan looking for equally super fan, and then maybe she. I don't know. We're going off a bit of a cliff here. I don't even want to go down to see where it goes.
I had more, but I think you're right. Because I had a lot more on that because his body's like, she's using you for your seats, man. No, she loves me. No, you were a barrel.
Or I don't care. Like I don't care.
All right.
Yeah. That's cool.
But anyways, I'm fucking off. Yeah. Whatever. Anyways,
cool.
Dave, there's a lot. The teams are we're the regular season's over. I thought we would end it there, but basically, who's your the Eagles are going to lose. We kind of predicted that. The Cowboys were going to lose. I said they were going to puke a little themselves. Was there any surprises this weekend? Really? Green Bay, I guess, but
the Green Bay was believable, but not the ass humping. I
thought like a 5 point, like 6-5. Yeah, like a one scorer game.
And talking to my buddy, that's what it's totally up to your D, and if they can keep it close, because you're not winning a shootout. And they didn't. They put the game away in the first half, thanks to the defense and those picks. Actually, after that, I thought Houston-Cleveland would be a closer game, but it doesn't really surprise me. So it's
status quo.
Some blowouts, but it was the underdogs getting those blowouts kind of thing. It'll be interesting to see next week. I'm just looking forward to the next week of playoffs, because actually Super Wild Card Weekend was a lot more entertaining this year than it was last year.
Yeah, no, it was. Last year was awful. It was absolutely awful. This year's been a lot better. And I just I don't know if we're going to see any upsets next week.
Well, I don't know either. We'll talk about it.
I think she might be. We'll talk about it Thursday, but I think she'll be pretty much status quo. I think the favorites are all going to win next week.
You going to give my boy Baker his due now, or no? Is it just Eagles suck so much and Baker's just still?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's going to
Baker his due.
He's going to have to do something fucking beating the Eagles. The Calgary Stampeders beat the Eagles right now, for fuck's sake. Let's not the Eagles are broken. That's a broken team. Broken.
It is. Yeah, something's wrong. And
they were 10-0, correct, at one point?
10-1. Because they had lost to the Jets, which I don't know why that happened, but it did happen. And the Eagles they're not good. They're
a broken team, and to be a Super Bowl team not that many years ago, and they're
that not like 11 months ago, right?
Yeah, right. They're broken, and you wonder how that happens. Like you wonder how you go from the pinnacle to nothing.
It makes me wonder too, because Tua and Hurts are now up for their contracts to get re-upped and shit like that. Fuck, the way those two played on their playoff games this year, I don't know. You ain't getting that $40 million. You ain't getting fucking Mahomes Burrow money. Not even close. If you
$250,000 in bleacher seats is what they get from me. That's all.
Yeah, you don't even bring up Burrow's fucking name when we're negotiating your contract, because this fucking sucks. Like how is it like? So Tua and Hurts. You know what? I think Hurts is already getting paid next year.
Yeah,
I'm not 100%, but I don't think Tua is. And like fucking Tua, you played like shit yesterday. You played like shit down the stretch, and maybe it's just Alabama quarterbacks. Maybe this is just an homage to the retired Nick Saban, saying like, we can't do it without you, coach. I don't know, because they're
reaching way back in the stratosphere on that one, eh? Like
Hurts fucking sucks.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's not my teams, and so I'm not going to worry about it.
It's the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 Beer Sports Talk, and a whole lot more. This segment's brought to you by SeatGeek.com, the SeatGeek app. It's promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com today. You save yourself $20 on your first order at SeatGeek. Do not buy tickets for places that you have to shovel snow.
No. Make them give you tickets.
Stay home. Make them
$20 an hour, and then just like stay there and a ticket and a hot dog and beer.
Like a flat of beer when it's over. When I'm done.
Well, how about just as much as you can drink while you're there?
Well, because then you don't
give them a wristband, like a resort, right? Like it's like an all
at the game. At the game, a wristband, 100%. Yeah,
you get
all inclusive.
Yeah,
bing, bing, bang, done.
Not in the boxes and stuff. You can get all the popcorn and hot dogs and
we'll have to debate what you would do at Jerry's box. Like when it's a blow.
I'll think about it.
1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 Beer Sports Talk, and a whole lot more. Are you thinking of going to a game or a concert in the coming days ahead, or do you already have tickets and want to upgrade where you're sitting? It's simple. Go to SeatGeek.com or the SeatGeek app. They have tickets for all sports going on right now, as well as concert tickets to shows throughout North America. And to make things even better, use promo code 1420pod, that's 1420pod, and receive $20 off your first purchase. Once again, that's promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com or the SeatGeek app. The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 Beer Sports Talk, and a whole lot more. Dave, on Saturday night, the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm a Leafs guy. I know you're not. Most of the country's pretty divided on Leafs fans and who's not Leafs fans. But it was a pretty telling tale of two teams on Saturday night. And the coach of the Leafs, Sheldon Keefe, he made that known nationally about what he thought of his team compared to the Colorado Avalanche. The Leafs were up 3-0 after the first period, and everybody was planning the parade and everything else in Toronto because they looked really good. And then Colorado said not so fast, and they boat raced the Leafs after that. It was unbelievable. Post-game comments, Sheldon Keefe, coach of the Leafs, he basically said that Cale Makar, Nathan McKinnon, and Taves, I can't remember his first name off the top of my head for whatever reason, Sheldon doesn't matter, that they're just playing on another level than we are. They're better players than we are. On and on it goes. Not so much about the Leafs day, but if you want to comment on that. But it's not a good look, I don't think, when the head coach of a professional team says that there's opposing players and on teams that are better than us. I don't know if that's going to work out well, knowing the climate of today's athlete.
It is a slippery slope when you're going to go down that road as a coach, and then on a couple different levels, because, you knew that going in, right? Like, if you're playing against the Oilers and Connor McDavid just goes nuclear and scores 3 all-world goals on you, like what the fuck do you do? No one can stop this. He had a night. But when you're singling out 3 players on the opposition, that are you saying these guys are just so much better than us, we don't have a chance? What is your message, and who are you delivering it to? You're clearly delivering it to your players, because there's always a problem when a coach is going to start airing dirty laundry about his players to the media. What are you going to say to Mitch Marner, to Austin Matthews, and to Willie Nylander, who just
signed a big deal,
who just signed an 8-year deal with you guys? Like, are you saying like, oh, fuck, man, I wish I was coaching that team? Is that what you're saying to him? Or are you saying?
Point. And not just that, like, to Leafs fan base, like when you go, oh fuck, our head coach just said that those guys are better. We just signed Nylander for 8 more at 11.5.
And we just signed Matthews last year.
Whatever it is. Yeah. So Leaf fan must be like, what's going on here? Like, is that just a coach saying, you know what? Is that him covering his ass a little bit, saying, you know what? It ain't my fault. Those players are just better. Fire me if you want. Those players are better.
I think that's an admission of guilt of saying I'm not a very good coach. Because if you knew that and you say that, because, anybody that comes in and is playing the Oilers or and has to face McDavid, you have a plan of how you want to contain him.
Figure it out. Yeah.
Right. McCarr's all world, McKinnon's all world, and Taves, like, obviously Keefe says he's all world too. So who am I to quibble with him? Have a plan. Like, whether it's doing a little bit of a obstruction behind the ref's back, whether it's denying the outlet pass, whether it's whatever. Have a fucking plan. You're smarter than me. You're the goddamn coach. How do we neutralize their skill against our shitty Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, Willie Nylander, and Tavares, who's making $8.5 million?
Tavares he's making 11. He got benched. In the third period on Friday night or Saturday night. Sorry, and that was kind of like one of those things, because a few weeks back they benched. I can't remember the name of the player, but it was a non-consequential guy, and I was like, they benched Jake Winters. Like, all right, you benched Jake Winters. They didn't dress him healthy, scratched him to shake up the team. And in my head, I was like, who cares? Like, if you really want to shake a team up and get a team's attention, bench or healthy scratch one of your stars. And I've always thought that, like, if you fucking bench Brent Radlinski or Dave Van Robes, nobody gives a shit. Like, no one gives. Like, whatever. Good. He's not on the ice, not in the field, whatever. We're happy he's not screwing things up.
Yeah.
You get the team's attention and the fans' attention that you actually are showing that you care, and maybe listening to stupid podcasts or the radio or reading the paper or whatever it might be. Bench a star. Like, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. We're losing with you. We might as well fucking lose without you. Why not? Like,
I do it all the time on the team. Like, Johnny always getting
benching a star isn't the worst thing you could ever do.
But on the other hand, like, are they helping you? Like you say, Tavares. I'm not. You obviously keep track of the Leafs a lot closer than I do. I don't know if Tavares is an actual hindrance there. But your other stars, like, you don't bench a star for the sake of benching a star. I got to assume these guys that are leading from the front, like Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews. Didn't he have like 55 goals? Like,
no, Matthews been great. He's still been great, scoring lots. Tavares' problem right now is that the game has sped by him. He's still hockey smart. He's very good. He knows what to do, but the game's fast now, man. And skating was never really his strong
forte. Yeah.
Right. And that goes across the league with some guys who are getting older. And I don't want to use his name because he hasn't played for most seasons because of his legal dispute. But guys like Milan Lucic, like you wonder how they stay in the fucking league because you're just not fast enough anymore. And because the game is so fast in comparison, right? In comparison to what it was 5 years ago, when you got all these kids going 1,000,000 miles an hour, mock chicken, don't know how to play the game. See that's the we're on this slope now where a lot of kids don't know how to play hockey, but they're faster than fuck, right?
Right, and like you and I discussed it just last week. What kind of like the margin players, right? Like who are you going to give a chance to? The kid with a bit of hockey sense that can read the play. Delivers a nice check, a nice clean check, the occasional hip check, a little bit of toughness, but it's slow. Or do you take the kid that's just fucking fast as balls?
Mock chicken all over the ice.
Mock chicken all over the ice, misses hits, makes mistakes, but he has the speed for back check. And he keep up the play. What he lacks in hockey sense, he makes up for in speed and intensity. So it becomes a choice of what you want from your players, I would guess, when you're constructing your teams. And I guess you can't, like it's always said, you can't teach speed. And then hopefully we can teach them how to play the game. Whereas the guy that, like all these kids, I have done the exact same amount of figure skating and power skating and blah, blah, and blah, blah. And this kid just isn't as fast as someone else. But he has the hockey sense. He has everything. And as an 18, 19-year-old, you don't have that. You don't have the ability with your hockey sense to make up for your lack of speed. But given like 4 or 5 years in the minors, maybe you can make that jump now that you have the ability to read and understand a pro game. Do you get what I'm saying there?
100%, and that's the one thing that was blatantly obvious. I don't want to make this a Leafs podcast by any means, but it was quite funny to see that Colorado's recently won a Stanley Cup in the last couple of years, and then you looked at what Las Vegas did last year with them winning the Stanley Cup, and you say and we've talked about a lot about playing the game, is that it was blatantly obvious on Saturday night when the Colorado was behind. They basically set the alarms, and Toronto fucked around and found out, and then and Colorado, because there was a play in the second where Matthews took a cross check to the ribs, and another one where Marner's took, and there was no pushback, none at all from anyone on that Leafs roster.
Who's that? They got that guy Reeves to.
Yeah, he's been watching the games from 1420 World Headquarters a lot lately.
Oh, okay. So there's not a lot.
I don't even think he knows where his skates are. One of those things, right? And it's been quite funny that it's been like that. And the Leafs fucked around with the Colorado Avalanche and found out. And like as much as everybody likes the new style hockey, and we talk about it here and there and everything else, the Las Vegas Golden Knights won last year. You know why? Because they were fucking tough. Colorado won 2 years ago. You know why? Because they were fucking tough. And everyone's
tough and deep.
And deep and tough and deep, and not dirty, but tough and deep. And that matters a lot. Like I know that the whole world's trying to go to the more skilled in every sport, and analytics and on it goes. But eventually, you know what? Sometimes the old boys get it right. Sometimes they get it right, because there was a couple of plays on Saturday night that changed the course of the hockey game that you're like, yeah, that's why they're going to win this game. Because all of a sudden you're looking over your shoulder a little bit, going to get the puck, right? You're looking over your shoulder a little bit before you do anything. And that's what happened on Saturday. And you see that around hockey a lot. Especially
when you get up to an early lead, right? And then you're feeling a little bit of fat and sassy. Yeah. And then one goal gets scored. And then fuck, it's just one. We'll still up by 2. And then all of a sudden now you're catching a a fucking shoulder in the chest when you quite weren't ready for it. And what the fuck, man? Like, we're winning this game. Why are you playing so hard?
Yeah.
And then all of a
You
sudden
think it's the ice capade, not fucking
Yeah.
NHL game. Yeah.
Yeah, and then now all of a sudden there's no way you can match their intensity for the rest of the game because you're playing, even though you have a 3-2 lead, now you're playing catch up because this team is working way harder. They're
Momentum.
first at every puck. You're the ones getting plastered against the boards. They're bringing the game to you, and it's like, holy fuck, we're in trouble. But it's too late. And then once the wave starts going the other way, there's nothing you can do. And well, there's always something you can do, but that becomes an intangible. I don't know what you can do like just like Dallas the other day, right? Like all of a sudden, like oh, we gave up an early touchdown punt, and all of a sudden we're down 2 touchdowns, and then all of a sudden now it's a pick, and now it's a pick 6, and like holy fuck, like how do we stop this? You can't stop it.
It's crazy once it gets away from you in sports, how momentum's such a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just goes. Yeah, it just goes. There it is. Your man, Baker Mayfield, National Football League MVP. Just won the playoff game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are moving on to the second round, and that's it.
Well, he has 2 more playoff wins than Deshaun Watson, that's for sure. So I'm happy for Baker. Like I said, he's a gamer, and all he does is give his all. He's just not as talented as some of the other guys.
I don't know what it is, because I'm a big college guy. So I've never liked him from when he played wherever the fuck he was all over the fucking place.
Because he's such a look at me, bro, and I get that.
Yeah. And then he got the deal and the TV and this stuff. Like, I don't think it's a jealousy thing, but it's an envious, not jealousy, I'm not jealous, or an envious thing. But I don't know why. I just don't like the guy.
And like
I don't know why.
He's cut from the same cloth as Bryce Harper, right? Like, and why I like Baker and not Bryce Harper, I don't know. I pick and choose the bros, the Hardo bros here and there. But for whatever
because right
reason,
now he's doing the fucking I'd like to thank everybody and he's looking this is unbelievable. Like fuck off. To me, that when everybody goes, like when these athletes go, like, these guys have to do better. They got to do better when they get their post game interviews. It is. I'd like to thank and like this is I can't. Isn't that the reason why you play, asshole? Is to win games?
Yeah.
It's to go to championships. Oh, I can't believe this finally happened. That's why you play.
The one
so
I hate.
I pay a ticket to watch you play that if you didn't believe it was going to happen.
The one I hate is
how about you pay for my ticket that I can watch you not believe you fucking win?
Well, like what press conference isn't like that, right?
No, but that's what I mean. Like, it's so.
But that's every single one. Like talk to the winner and now talk to 3 losers, right? Talk to the guy that's mad that he didn't get the pass. Yeah,
I would love to hear the losers talk, but I would hate to be the interviewer.
How's this sound? Mike the tunnel when they're walking off the ice or walking off. Mike the tunnel on the way to the locker room.
No.
She's like the public space. You can't mic up the locker room. I understand that. But mic up the tunnel on the way from the bench to the dressing room.
Jason Kelsey, he's shaking hands because he's probably done this. He said he's pretty much going to retire when it's all said.
Yeah. I think he's retired.
Yeah, the post game interview it's gotta. I don't know. It's gotta get altered.
Yeah, neither do I. Like it is what it is, and I don't care for it, and the panel breaking down the game. Excuse me, is better than all this shit that we're watching right now. So,
I think breaking down the game, listening to it is stupid.
I don't mind it.
I think it's stupid.
I don't mind it because occasionally they'll show me stuff that I haven't seen. Especially,
But what do you give a fuck? You're not going to be teaching Jasper the fucking ins and outs of the fucking football game.
But I like it, and I like to bask sometimes, especially like when Denver won that Super Bowl against the last Super Bowl they won was against Cam Newton and those Carolina Panthers. I watched it on loop. I watched the same interviews 10 times because I was basking. Right. And so that is a little bit different. And yeah, it is what it is. When your team wins, especially winning a big game, I don't mind watching and hearing every word they have to say about the game I just watched.
If you had to get rid of one, would you get rid of all post-game pressers or the national anthem before the game?
National anthem. Get rid of the national anthem.
That is the most. Who gives because people would notice for like the first 6 weeks, no matter what sport, and then after that, be like, all right.
I don't understand why we do the national anthem in front of any sport at any time.
And I'm patriotic as fuck. Like, I'm Canadian through and through, whatever. And I used to fucking love it. Like, the whole, like when I used to play junior hockey and stand at the blue line, whatever, all that stuff. But I think it's necessary. I think it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. There's lyrics getting messed up now and everything else. And then
it's become politicized and who owns the anthem and like this and that. And, it's just fucking put it away. This isn't about business.
Nobody would care 6 weeks in.
What convention have you ever been at or a seminar or anything where they play the national anthem? Right? Before we bring on our key speaker, we'd like everybody to stand and play the national anthem. Never. I'm fucking bullshit. Stupid. Do they do it before a play? Do they do it before you get to watch a fucking movie? Do you do it before a happy hour at a bar? No, fuck. Let's just get on with our business.
You know when they should do it? Is halfway through happy hour at a bar.
Or closing.
Closing time.
Closing time.
Closing time. One last call for alcohol. Sing the anthem. See you later.
Yep.
If you get it right and you're there to the end, you get a shot.
Yeah. Like last call, you play the anthem, and then you have 20 minutes.
Sing "O Canada, Star Spangled Banner." Here's a shot of Fireball. Fuck off.
I agree. That makes more sense than playing in front of a sporting event.
Thanking people for thanking our forefathers or whatever it is for what they did so we can stand here tonight, drink till 3 a.m, and have a shot. See you later.
Yeah, for making all our bad decisions that we're doing right now.
Doing it before a fucking baseball game or a football game or a hockey game. It's time. It's time to go. It is
stupid. It's kind of stupid.
Never
alone a junior hockey. Yeah.
Like I know we're doing WCBL there, and it's like, oh Christ, Jesus Christ! Like half the kids in the field don't even know the fucking words.
Well, what's the point? Like honestly, there is no point. So.
Dave, fun show tonight. Let's. Do you got a would you rather? We'll call her good.
Oh, rats! When did we switch days? This is supposed to be the who's better.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Better. You didn't know that?
Well, I thought even numbered years had switched up.
Oh, I didn't get that memo. Oh, shoot. Because I was not ready for it. I was thinking about one, but I didn't have it. Would you rather?
It doesn't matter. Don't even.
No,
I know it was mine.
Would you rather go to a baseball game in the rain or a football game in the snow?
Oh, fuck. I would neither.
Well, baseball's going to get the game's for sure going to get canceled, right? So now,
if I go to I got it. if I go to a baseball game in the rain, if it doesn't go past whatever inning, I might get a rain check to go to the game the next day, the doubleheader the next day. Right. If I go to a football game in the snow, I'm going to freeze my ass off. But you know what? I can dress for cold. But once you get wet, right? You can dress for it, like you put your rain suit on, whatever it is, to go to a ball game. But once you're wet, and you're wet all night. Like you can't, and you get that chill.
And it's really dependent too, right? You know, getting rained on in the country is a lot different than getting rained on at a baseball park, right? Because it's city dirt. City dirt's different than country dirt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a lot more.
Okay, and then once and honestly, there is nothing worse on God's green earth than wet blue jeans. There's nothing worse. Like nothing.
It's like the deck liner for.
Oh,
for
it's just fucking like even when you like you dry your pants in the fucking dryer and they're not done yet. I gotta go to work. Whatever, you put them on, like fuck, they're still wet. Like
it's damp here.
You know what I'm talking about?
In the ass. Oh yeah.
It's awful.
You know exactly where it's
awful.
Yeah,
it's awful. So wet blue jeans are awful. Like fuck. So you know what? I would rather, if choice between the two, I'd rather do neither. But choice between the two, I'd rather go to a cold football game because
you're dressed in proper. You got your snow pants on, and you got.
If I have my if I go to the game at Yankee Stadium, so I've been to one that it started to rain. I left. I said, "Fuck it, fifth inning. Fuck this. I'm leaving." And I was wet. It sucked. Like it was
because it lasts forever.
Like the subway back and change. I had to go to the hotel, change clothes and stuff. Right? It was shitty. But if you're cold, eventually you can warm up.
Yeah, the cuffs of your jeans are wet, which means your socks are going to stay wet all the time. You can change your socks, but then like the next pair of socks you put on are going to get wet around the ankles, and you got to maintain that uncomfortableness.
Yeah. Fuck, there's nothing worse. Actually, I got a would you rather for you. We'll do it because it was like we were saying earlier on the show there that it was awfully cold here on Saturday night, minus 40 and everything else. And one of my jokes to try to console Deanne a little bit when it's fucking shitty outside is no dust, no mosquitoes, right? No dust, no mosquitoes, right? Because it is. Would you rather have 5 mosquito bites on a hot summer's night, or deal with the cold for 5 minutes filling up your car?
The car. Give me the cold. I think mosquitoes are the actual devil's insect, right?
100%.
I've said that a million times. She
disagreed with me. She's like, no, it's fine.
You could be having the best day of your life.
Mosquitoes,
and then all of a sudden the mosquitoes come out and you're swatting and especially whatever. Like mosquitoes are the worst. They are the worst. And I even said that to someone. It's kind of funny. We were sharing a brain earlier on because someone said something like, what's worse? And I go, you know what? At least we don't have mosquitoes. 100%. And then they laughed and at least we don't have mosquitoes. Like, fuck, I get it. It fucking sucks out here. It's brutal. It's so cold and it's awful. But
it's going to get better.
Like it's going to get better.
With a mosquito bite,
you never know. Well,
you don't know where sometimes they get you between your toes and they fucking in your finger and your arm. You scratch it, so that mosquito bite might last 2 weeks. Scratching the guts up, not 2. But
if you scratch it and get that little scab on it, then that's
on and on. And get 2, and then he's mosquitoes and they're flying around you. Whereas, you know what? When it's cold, I'm 5 minutes away. Thank the good Lord above it from being warm. A mosquito bite might not go away for a week. And anybody who thinks the cold is worse, they're stupid.
You've never dealt with bad mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. No.
Mosquitoes are worse than cold. Mind you, like we don't get mosquitoes at -5. I'd prefer not to deal with mosquitoes at -5 as opposed to -35. But, what do you do? It's where we live. but fuck mosquitoes.
Still better than mosquitoes.
Best day of your life. Mosquitoes will fucking ruin it.
Yeah. Fuck.
You know, but minus 35 don't sneak up on you. You know it's doing that when you walk out the door. You don't know.
And no matter how much raid or deep woods or DEET or whatever you're applying to your fucking torso, a mosquito's gonna find somewhere to get you. And then they hover around your ear like, oh, I hate them.
Hate them.
I can't think of anything I dislike more on this planet than mosquitoes.
A natural disturbance, right? Like, not someone beaking at your bar. Like, that doesn't count, right? Like, it's just like you plan your day and do anything. But this is what we're going to do today, and it happens to be outside. And all of a sudden, this is the best day ever. Watching your favorite band, eating your favorite meal in a backyard barbecue with your best friends. And all of a sudden, fucking mosquitoes. Fuck. This sucks. How come you didn't spray for mosquitoes? And all of a sudden, no one's having a fun time. They're all bitching about fucking mosquitoes.
Yeah. Oh, it's
fucking
nuts.
Devil's insect.
Yeah. Oh, I don't get it. I'd like to find a way. I'd like to find a way to get rid of mosquitoes completely, but then the food chain and the things and the stuff, and I don't think we can.
Kaylee and I actually inquired into obtaining a bat because we had such a bad mosquito thing. Because did you know a bat eats its weight in insects in a night?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that you cannot buy a bat?
Because they're
a wild animal. You can buy a bat house, and they say like a bat house. I don't know what the fuck.
They're a little aggressive.
But I thought bats were blind. Like, how do they fucking know? Like, when you buy this bat house, you got an 80% chance of a bat living there now. Well, the fuck. Like, do you guys put out a flyer? Like, I don't know. Is there a bat realtor? Like, oh, we got a nice little bat house on 1302 here. I think they got lots of mosquitoes. And then they over there, like, fuck.
There's a spot at Spitz on the infield, right behind the pitcher's mound and just over from second base.
Okay.
Mosquitoes live there. Like, I swear they're bred there.
It must be a little where water collects or what
something.
Right?
I don't know. But mosquitoes live there, and they hover by your ear when you're umpiring the bases, and they hover and hover and hover. It might be maybe they're eating sunflower seeds. I don't know. But it is awful.
Got to get a bat house at Spitz. Make that under the lights priority.
I know one of the guys on the whatever the fuck. So
make some calls.
Just talk to the other voices in my head, make that happen. But anyway.
I'll put something in the fucking suggestion box.
Suggestion box. Jesus.
Yeah,
the suggestion box is fucking full. Holy Christ. Everybody's a fucking genius right now. It's my first week there, and holy Christ, the stuff you hear. But anyways, Dave, fun show tonight. It's turned out really well. I didn't have huge hopes for this, but it turned out we had some laughs. Yeah,
it is good. Like, we never know what we're gonna get into, and we kind of kept it on the rails. Got a little sidetracked once in a while, but I'm glad we got to solve some problems, and that you finally acknowledge that Baker Mayfield is a money quarterback.
He is definitely a top 32 quarterback in national football.
Better him than any QB from Alabama in the playoffs. I'll tell you that much.
The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 beer sports talking a whole lot more. Take care of each other. More important, take care of yourself. You do round. You stick on the ice. And what else, Dave?
Do not swing at high pitches, Jimmy.
Have a good night, folks. We'll talk again on Thursday night.
Have a good night, everybody.
Fuck mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes can fuck right up.
And stay fucked.
You and Jerry Jones. What if there was mosquitoes in Jerry Jones' box?
Then I got an instant out.
Boss, there's too many skeeters in here.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck here, man? Fuck.
You're a fucking billionaire.
Put it on him. That's the thing. That's the thing. We'll do all this in a separate thing. Put it on him. Like, make it uncomfortable that something isn't, or fake an allergy or so, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, hey, fuck.
Oh.
You told me this was gluten free.
You didn't
if I don't
know
get out of here,
you didn't know I have a allergy.
Yeah.
I gotta go, man.
Oh, sorry, boss.
Like, I haven't eaten that yet, but I saw that. I didn't want to say anything, but you know what? Because other people are touching stuff, I gotta go.
Yeah, I like the jar.
That's the veteran move. Because then you might get invited back. You might get invited back, and they'll change the menu for what you want. That's
what do you say? What do you say about the 5 double Ryan Cokes that you plowed down before kickoff? Well, I'm not allergic to rye. I don't have a problem with drinking free whiskey.
Yeah,
you know that.
But it's the food. No one's allergic to booze. Never blame the booze, Dave.
Yeah.
That's one thing we've always stated here in the 1420 podcast. Never blame the booze.
It
Never,
ain't the
ever.
booze's fault. Yeah.
It ain't the booze's fault. It's everything else.
Anyways.
1420 Sports Bar Podcast. For Beer Sports Talking a whole lot more. Talk to you guys again on Thursday night.
Good night.
Here we go.
See you, everybody.